Hey y'all, so I was in the middle of making a wig for someone and then I noticed like why won't I do a tutorial or record how I make wigs? So that's why I already started and I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys what I do. Alright guys, so I just when I sew the first bundle in, I put it at the very edge of it because when you want to put it in a ponytail, you don't want all that excess black band showing and you want it to look nice and neat and you want it to kind of droop just a tad bit over the black bands, if y'all get my drift. So when I sewing on the part where there's like a band, I do not sew inside of that band. Sewing inside of it will make the band not stretch, and we want the band and the wig cap to stretch. So if you see me flipping it, you see no thread whatsoever because I do not sew inside of it. I just tug it a little bit and sew on top of it. If you guys can kind of see, I'm not sewing inside the band. Don't sew inside of the band. Also, once I'm sewing in that closure, I do not cut my wefts. I don't want them to shed. I do flip them, but when I flip them, I make sure I make a knot and secure it at the end so that it's not bulky. Believe me, guys, securing the ends of it when you flip it will make it lay flat. I promise you all. It'll make it lay flat, okay? And then I'm just going to sew the remaining of this bundle in and show you guys how I do it. Okay, after I sew down that first bundle, I'm going to go ahead and move to the top, which is the fun part, sewing down the closure. So when I sew down the closure, I'm also doing it the same way as I sew in the bundles when it comes up to the band part. We're not sewing inside or through the band. We are sewing on top of it. So just pull it a little bit with the needle so we can just get the top of that band and we're sewing the closure down. Also with the closure, I do sew down the sides first. I feel like it just gives me a little bit more room or just a little bit, it just makes it easier to make sure the closure lays down flat instead of doing the whole thing because then it's going to start getting like all crunched up and you're going to have a whole bunch of heels and all this kind of stuff you do not want on your closure. So yeah, I sew down the ends first and then I am going to sew down the back. Also, to keep that closure in place and make sure it does not go anywhere, I do insert a T-pin at the beginning, if you guys can see it a little bit, to hold down the closure while I sew it down to make sure it doesn't go anywhere. And yeah, so watch me sew down the closure. Okay, so after I've sewn in the rest of the bundles, I am going to sew in the slash track um, for the closure. Pretty much just me showing y'all what the wig looks like so far with the back of the wig once you pull the tracks apart. I'm sorry, I'm over here looking a mess. I'm background all dirty, trying to get this wig mannequin right. But I'm pretty much just going to show you guys how I'm going to sew the lash track in. Once I sew it, I usually make sure that I put the track as close to or on the closure as I can without like disturbing it. Just so that it's super flat, and you know, you don't want that. See how it has that gap? You don't want to stop there and just leave that gap, because once you start parting your closure, that gap is going to be pretty much noticeable. So you want it to look as natural as possible. And get that track in there as close on that closure as you can to fill up that extra space. Alright, so after we sew the closure down, we've sewn in all the bundles. Now we are going to sew that black band that's under the lace part. Of course, we do not want our lace to look like it's black underneath. Of course, that is not the color of our scalps. So, yeah, I am pretty much going to cut that band off. When you're cutting it, you want to make sure that you flip it inside out, just so you can make sure you are not cutting the thread and losing out on all that hard work we just put in. So when you cut it, flip it inside out, cut it against the thread. Just give it a little bit of room to where you're not cutting exactly where that thread is, because you don't want it to eventually unravel and, you know, come off. So just leave a little bit of band room under it on there. just to increase the longevity of it. Is that how you say it? I don't know. I probably sound dumb, but it's okay. So we're gonna go ahead and cut that off, y'all. Alright, y'all. So, this part, I just put the wig back in, finished cutting off the XX band. I did sew in some wig clips. I thought I recorded this part where I sewn on the wig clips. I guess I did not. I am definitely sorry about that. Definitely make sure to make another video to let you guys know, or if you guys want to know how I put on the wig clips on a wig. But I'm so sorry about that. I don't know what happened to it. But, yeah. Now at this point, we are going to make air part. Now, this wig was the hair was provided. It's Unice hair. It was provided to me by my coworker. I'm making this wig for her. If you guys wondering about the color, she dyed it on her own. She's going to continue dyeing it on her own. She didn't finish, but I made the wig anyway, so she's going to dye after I'm making the wig. If you're just noticing about the color. Now, in order for me to lay it flat, I do also use mousse, but my secret weapon is a pressing comb. I cannot stress this enough how pressing combs lay closures so flat. I promise you guys. So I already made my part. Now I am just going to press this down just to make sure it's laying flat. It's not bulky. The mousse helps it lay flat, but this pressing comb is going to be the key to get it flat. I promise. It's going to be the key to get it flat, y'all. Alright, so now it's time for the plucking. So, that was the natural part that I had in there before. Now I'm just going to widen it a little bit by starting to pluck it. While I was in the middle of plucking this, my camera died, y'all. So I recorded, like, I had to record the final look on my iPhone 7 Plus. So if you guys see the quality is different, it is because of that. So yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed this video of me making a lace wig sewing closure. Thanks for watching, y'all.